بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال أبو يوسف محمد رحمه الله تعالى في الوجه الأول كما قال أبو حنيفة، وفي الوجه الثاني كما قال زفر رحمه الله تعالى. Sahib bin Rahmatullah says that in the first case, just as Imam Abu Hanifa Rahmatullah says, in other words, they say when you marry without witnesses and then they accept Islam, they should be allowed to stay on that. And in the second case, they say, just as Imam Zufar Rahmatullah says, that when you marry in the iddat of another kafir, then uh, and then if they bring that or they accept Islam, then you let their nikah breaks. Right. له أن الخطابات عامة على ما مر من قبله فتلزمهم. Imam Zufar Rahmatullah is dalil for what? To say the nikah is fasid in both cases, right? He says that the rest of the Shariat is general upon that which passed before, so it becomes binding upon them. We mentioned this before, that Imam Zufar and Sahibain, they say that the address of the laws of the Shariat is binding upon the non-believers also. So just as they have to accept Islam, likewise they have to practice on the laws of Islam. And the same Imam Abu say the laws of the Shariat is not binding upon them because they didn't accept Islam, right? So this discussion already passed, right? So it becomes binding upon him. وإنما لا يتعرض لهم لذمتهم إعراضا لا تقريرا. And indeed, they will not be interfered with. They will not be right. They will not be interfered with because of their pact of zimma. They did a contract with us, so we don't interfere with them because they did a pact of zimma with us. They did a contract with us, right? And that not interfering with them is i'radan. In other words, is turning away from them and not establishing what they do. So they are addressed by the Sharia. So we're supposed to impose it upon them, right? But because they made, as Imam Zufar Rahman is saying, because we made a contract with them, so we won't interfere with them, right? But that not interfering is not that we're happy with what they're doing. Rather, it's we turning away at this, what discuss at what they're doing. You understand it? Right. وإذا ترافعوا أو أسلموا والحرمة قائمة وجب التفريق. So when they raise the matter to the courts or they accept Islam and the hurmat is still existing, right? Because the address was there, then now tafriq, the separation becomes necessary. ولهما أن حرمة نكاح المعتدة مجمع عليها. Sahibain say the hurmat of a nikah of a woman in iddat is unanimously agreed upon. In other words, all the ulama say you cannot marry a woman while she's still in iddat. فَكَانُوا مُلْتَزِمِينَ لَهَا. So the non-believers are also binded by this. You understand? Because it's a unanimous masla of the Sharia. And as we mentioned, Saibin say the same as Imam Zufar, they are addressed with all the laws of the Sharia. So they are also binded by this. فحرمة النكاح بغير شهود مختلف فيه. And the prohibition of nikah without witnesses, there's ikhtilaf in there. What's the ikhtilaf? In other words, Imam Malik says, you don't need witnesses, you just need to make i'lan. He say i'lan of nikah is sufficient. But no, you don't need to have witnesses. Right. وَلَمْ يَلْتَزِمُوا أَحْكَامَنَا بِجَمِيعِ الْإِخْتِلَافَاتِ. And they have not made binding upon themselves our laws with all the ikhtilafat. So they'll only be, only those laws will be binding upon them in which there is unanimously agreed upon. You understand it now? Right. وَلِأَبِي حَنِيفَةَ أَنَّ الْحُرْمَةَ لَا يُمْكِنُ إِثْبَاتُهَا حَقًّا لِلشَّرْعِ. Imam Abu Hanifa dalil is that this hurmat, right? This hurmat, what? Hurmat, the hurmat of getting married without witnesses or getting married in the iddat of the next kafir, right? Its establishment is not possible as a right for the Shariat. لِأَنَّهُمْ لَا يُخَاطَبُونَ بِحُقُوقِهِ. Because they are not addressed with the rights of the Shariat. As Imam Abu Hanifa's usul, that they are not addressed with the furu'ats of the Shariat, the laws of the Shariat, because they're non-Muslims, right? وَلَا وَجَهَ إِلَى إِيجَابِ العدة حقا للزوج لأنه لا يعتقده. And there is no reason to make wajib iddat as a right for the husband because he doesn't believe in it. So in other words, firstly, for the right of the Shariat, we can't make them binded by that because they are not addressed with the laws of the Shariat. Right? That's the first thing. Second thing, you could say, okay, what about the law of the husband? You could make it that binding upon them because they need to fulfill the law of the husband. So you say neither for the right of the husband because the husband himself doesn't believe in the iddat. We said that وَذَلِكَ فِي دِينِهِمْ جَائِزٌ. That is permissible in the deen. In other words, according to them, that's permissible. So which means he doesn't believe in it, right? بخلاف ما إذا كانت تحت مسلم لأنه يعتقده. Contrary to if this non-Muslim was beneath a Muslim husband, because the Muslim husband believes in it. So now she must observe it for his right. وإذا صح النكاح فحالة المرافعة والإسلام حالة البقاء. So when nikah is correct now, so we say the nikah was correct. According to them, the nikah was correct, right? So we say when the nikah is correct, then the situation of them raising it up to our courts or the situation of them accepting Islam, this is the situation of the continuation of nikah. You understand it? So now when they come to us now, when they accept Islam or they come to the courts, this is now because the nikah was done correctly according to them. So now this is a continuation of the nikah. It's not the beginning of the nikah now. So this couple accepted Islam now, this non-Muslims, right? So their nikah is just going to continue now. So that's a situation of what? Of a continuation of nikah. Shahadatu laysat shartan fiha. And the witnessing is not a shart for the continuation of nikah. You understand it? What does this mean? It means that those witnesses that were present at your nikah, say you only had 2 witnesses. If they both are dead, is your nikah still valid? Can your nikah still continue? Yes, it can. So that shahadat is not a condition for the continuation of nikah. وَكَذَا الْعِدَّةُ لَا تُنَافِيهَا. And likewise, it that doesn't contradict the continuation of the nikah. In other words, it's possible that you can have an iddat and a nikah can still be carrying on. Right? So iddat and likewise iddat doesn't contradict or doesn't negate the situation of the continuation of nikah. You understand? They're going to give you an example. كالمنكوحة إذا وطئت بشبهة, like a married woman when wati was made with a doubt. What happened? The woman is married, right? And then the wrong man came to her in the dark of the night. And she thought it was her husband. He thought maybe it's your wife. Right? So it's a case of mistaken identity. Or, like you say, in the dark, they didn't know. They made wati. And then afterwards they realized, hey, this was wrong. This was something that happened here by mistake. So now what happens? She has to go into iddat. That woman that they made wati with, she needs to go into iddat for this man that made wati with her. Right? But the nikah with the husband is still continuing. So the nikah is still continuing, and the iddat is also there for somebody else. You got it now. فإذا تزوج المجوسي أمه أو ابنته ثم أسلم فرق بينهما. When a Majusi marries his mother and or his daughter, then they accept Islam, it will be separated between them. Now we can't allow that nikah to continue. You understand it? So this is now Majusi. Maybe according to them it's permissible, right? Nevertheless, when they accept Islam, it will be separate. لأن نكاح المحارم له حكم البطلان فيما بينهم عندهما. Because who's عندهما referring to now? كما ذكرنا في المعتدة. All right. Because the nikah of the maharim, for it there is a ruling of nullification in that which is between them according to Sahibain. Because Sahibain say that they are dressed with the laws of the Sharia. So the Sharia say you can't marry maharim. So likewise, when these people married maharim, that nikah was fasid. You understand it? According to Sahibain. Right. كما ذكرنا في المعتدة. Just as we mentioned in a woman who's sitting in iddat, right. وَوَجَبَ التَّعَرُّضُ بِالْإِسْلَامِ فَيُفَرَّقُ. And interfering when they accept Islam becomes wajib, so now they will be separated. وَعِنْدَهُ لَهُ حُكْمُ الصِّحَّةِ فِي الصَّحِيحِ. And according to Imam Sahib, that nikah had the ruling of correctness in the correct view, in the Sahih Qawl according from Imam Sahib, that the nikah was correct because they believe in it. You understand it? They believe that you can marry your maharim. So Imam Sahib, if they believe that, then it's permissible, right? According to them, illa anna al-mahramiyata tunafi baqa an-nikahi, except that being a mahram negates the continuation of nikah. Leave it till there. We'll just do that last portion tomorrow. Maybe from here, illa anna al-mahramiyata